So here we are then, welcoming you today to one of the jewels of the Arab world, Jeddah. One of the biggest cities in Saudi Arabia, second only to Riyadh, gateway to Mecca, and one of the biggest ports in the region. And now, host to the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah street circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Parker lines up on pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Hamilton, Leclerc, Russell, Verstappen, Button, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Ocon, Oscar Piastri, Magnussen, Ricciardo, Stroll, Bottas, Hülkenberg, Joe, Tsunoda, Sargent, and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. Anthony Davidson will be sharing his insight alongside me once again today. What should we be looking out for, Ant? Let's talk about Parker.
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? One more thing to consider is the strategy element. How far can the drivers push these tyres, and who's going to blink first for fresh rubber? It'll be interesting to see if the leaders have to compromise their plan to cover off the cars behind them.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going. Okay, how was that pull away? You'll have a bit more grip than that on the start, but we need to warm the tyres properly now. Make sure you get some heat into the brakes as well. No threat of rain for the time being, conditions look good. Superb parking there, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out. Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch. Got a lot of spare energy, okay to use your overtake button. DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 5.1 seconds. Great work, that's a new fastest lap of the race. that was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up, well done. Okay, we're running low on the fuel. Start lifting off the throttle a little. Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. If you continue to cut corners, the stewards are going to give you a penalty. Be careful. Okay, if we continue to use fuel at this rate, we won't have enough to reach the end of the race. You need to start lifting off the throttle earlier in corners. Let the car slow down naturally before you start braking, and that'll help us conserve the fuel you have left. Okay, gap to the car behind. 0.5 seconds. There's a new strategy available on the MFD. Copy. Yellow flag. Gap to your teammate behind is 19.8 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. They're sitting in 7th, and the time last lap was a 1:37.9. Okay, this is Mark. I need you to stop cutting the corners. If you keep it up, the stewards are going to give you a penalty. Okay, we've been given a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race. Get your head down and let's get it done. Car behind by 2.9 seconds. No need to worry about the tyre condition for now, everything's looking good. behind us is 3.7 seconds. Overtake button more, it's time to utilise some of this energy, come on. The gap behind is 5.6 seconds. Battery charge is high, let's use that overtake button a bit more. Okay, be careful. We think you're going to start losing some tyre grip anytime now. Gap behind is 7.5 seconds. Okay, mate, we might need to look at a new race strategy after that. I've got some options for you, so go and check your MFD. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 9.1 seconds. You need to slow down before hitting the corners. We don't want to get a penalty. Got a lot of spare energy, okay to use your overtake button. Okay, push, gap to the car behind, 12.3 seconds. car behind trailing us, 10.5 seconds. Jensen is in the pits, Jensen in the pits. I expect you'll be noticing a bit of grip loss in the tyres around now, so just be careful. Caution, caution! Green flag! Okay, gap to the car behind, 24.0 seconds. If you continue to cut corners, the stewards are going to give you a penalty. Be careful. Hamilton has just put in the fastest lap of the race so far. Verstappen behind you now. We're leading the car behind by 20.5 seconds. They're on old mediums, 5.4. Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy. And Verstappen's behind. And the gap behind us is 18.8 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 11 laps old now. We think they've got one more stop. Your last lap time was a 1:35.3. Okay, the gap behind is 18.8 seconds. FD, so go and have a look. Approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums. Verstappen behind you now. Our gap behind is 17.8 seconds. They're on old mediums. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap was a 1:35.6. Okay, that's us with 5 laps of fuel remaining. 5 laps of fuel left. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 16.1 seconds. And Verstappen's behind. Okay, push, gap to the car behind, 0.6 seconds. They're on old mediums. We think they've got one more stop. Time last lap was a 1:35.7. In this lap, push now. Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps. Okay, those tyres are going to fall off the cliff soon. Take extreme care. I've got some options for you, so go and check your MFD. We've only got 2 laps of fuel left. Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy. That's Hamilton behind. Okay, car behind trailing us, 10.2 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 8 laps old. Your last lap time was a 1:34.4. Okay, I've got a brand new race strategy on your MFD if you want to go and check it out. Hamilton's behind you now. Okay, gap to the car behind. 6.8 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 9 laps old. And the time last lap was a 1:35.7. We're leading the car behind by 4.1 seconds. Okay, we can take you this lap. Less than 1 lap of fuel left now, the tank's pretty much empty. Understood, stopping this lap. Okay mate, that's it, go, go, go! That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting. That was our last stop, no more scheduled pit stops, let's go. Ahead, and gap to the car in front is 19.0 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 19 laps old. We think they've got 1 more stop. Time last lap was a 1:36.7. ahead, now on the hard compound. Less than 1 lap of fuel left now, the tank's pretty much empty. Verstappen's ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead is 3.9 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Our gap to the car in front is 5.0 seconds. Overtake now, come on, push hard. Less than 1 lap of fuel left now, the tank's pretty much empty. Is ahead of you. Okay, gap to the car ahead is 4.3 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Their tyres are 3 laps old. Your last lap time was a 1:34.3. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 5.3 seconds. Okay mate, race control, I'm afraid are not happy with your creative interpretation of track limits. They've given you a 3-second penalty. Been handed a 3-second penalty for obvious corner cutting. Less than 1 lap of fuel left now, the tank's pretty much empty. Leclerc ahead. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 6.1 seconds. And the time last lap was a 1. Nice work, mate. That brings you up a place. Okay, so the gap to the car ahead, 8.7 seconds. Leclerc is ahead of you, and gap to the car in front is 8.9 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Their tyres are 5 laps old. Time last lap was a 1:34.5. Okay, mate, this is not good. You're losing 3 seconds a lap. Less than 1 lap of fuel left now. The tank's pretty much empty. Right, you've been pushing your luck on track limits too much, and we've been given a 3-second penalty. 1 lap of fuel left now. The tank's pretty much empty. Ahead. Okay, gap ahead is 11.8 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Okay, their tyres are 7 laps old. Your last lap time was 1 minute 35.9. Okay, you're dropping back by around 1.4 seconds. Start conserving fuel. Okay, the car behind's catching you at a rate of about 2 seconds a lap. Be aware. Pace is strong, but be aware these tyres need to go the distance. Less than 1 lap of fuel left now, the tank's pretty much empty. Gap behind us is 10.1 seconds. Right, we need to get past here. Use overtake, use overtake. Okay, good work. Great pass. Less than one lap of fuel left now, the tank's pretty much empty. Okay, we lost the position, try to keep focus. Less than one lap of fuel left now, the tank's pretty much empty. Okay, this is Mark. I need you to stop cutting the corners. If you keep it up, the stewards are going to give you a penalty. All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
It was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for Red Bull today. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, this was won through an abundance of speed and skillful overtakes. Inside, outside, cutting underneath, we saw it all today. And it's really nice to see a Grand Prix won in that manner. A race to satisfy the purists today, I think.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sports that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Our championship leader is still sat at the top of the standings, but their rivals have made up some solid ground today. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
Often my go-to would be a driver who's managed to pull off an especially impressive feat during the race. However, in this instance, I was more impressed by Max Verstappen's solid, clean driving throughout the event.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Ferrari continue to extend the gap at the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the Mercedes team today, as they make their way up the standings. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.